good morning, everyone. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you to today's panel discussion at the IIAD Grad Show 2026. My name is Diane, and I'm absolutely delighted to be your MC for this very special occasion.
And I'm Arshi. It's wonderful to be sharing the stage with Diane today as we guide you through an afternoon of insightful conversations, celebration, and inspiration.
Today marks not just a milestone for our graduating students, but also an exciting moment of transition and growth for our institution. As many of you know, IIAD is evolving into UDIT, University of Design, Innovation and Technology, a bold step towards shaping future ready creative education. We are truly honored to have such an inspiring gathering with us today. First and foremost, a warm welcome to our distinguished panelists. We welcome Ms. Shweta Agarwal. I request Palak to present a welcome gift to Ms. Agarwal. Next, we welcome Mr. Vimarsh Razdan. I request Jia to present a welcome gift to Mr. Razdan.
Yes. Let's go on. They want to take the foot. So, yes, everybody. Okay. There.
Next, we welcome Ms. Aisha Bhattacharya. I request Smriti to present a welcome gift to our guest. Next, we welcome Ms. Preeti Khanna. I request Suhani to present a welcome gift.
Seven the base.
Next, we welcome Mr. Abhishek Mandal. I request Gurmanya to present the welcome gift. Next, we welcome Ms. Ruhani Singh Man. I request Parri to present the welcome gift. We are also privileged to be joined by the respected CEO of IIAD, Dr. Jitin Chadha, our ever supportive academic director, Professor Usha Nehru Patel, and our dynamic COO, Ms. Simrat Joshi, our dedicated faculty members, proud parents, industry guests, and of course, the vibrant and unstoppable spirit of our student community. Let's put our hands together to welcome one and all. Before we begin today's panel discussion, we would like to invite someone whose vision and leadership continue to shape the future of creative and management education in India. As IIAD transitions into UDIT, his commitment towards innovation, industry integration, and future focused learning continues to inspire all of us. May we now request Dr. Jitin Chadha, CEO of IIAD, to kindly address the gathering and share a few words with us.
Hi, wish you all a very, very good morning. You can see me better probably here. Um, Firstly, I want to start by thanking our guests, our panelists who've really taken time out, that too on a Sunday morning of anything else, to be with us today. And when you're working and your family commitments, time becomes your most valuable resource. So we are really, really grateful that you're giving us your time more than anything else. Thank you for being here. And to our graduating batch, congratulations, you made it. The journey is coming to an end, and I can see the amazing work that you've put out there. And it's really heartening to see that our approach to giving you a project based experiential learning experience has culminated into something that you have something to show for. You've done work and you have a portfolio of projects that you can show recruiters, freelance, start your own ventures. And I've seen students launch their own ventures, have got internships or jobs with eminent companies, and some still figuring out what to do and going for masters. Um, and I've been saying that a lot to many other people outside IIT that, gone is an era where you graduate and yours is a business degree. So just for the panelists, it's almost like a BBA in fashion and luxury management. A typical BBA graduates with a mark sheet and a degree, and that's all they get. And when they go to a recruiter, they show that mark sheet. And I've been a recruiter. I don't know what to make of that mark sheet. I don't know if other recruiters have, because it gives no information about your capability. That was 20th century. You have the privilege of going out with a portfolio of work. So somebody can assess your capability. You have something to showcase for. And we're really, really proud of the amazing work you all have done here, and of the amazing faculty that we have built over the last 5 years. A big thank you to the faculty on your behalf for doing such an amazing job, and wish you all the very, very best for your next steps ahead. And we would like to now invite the panelists to, hear their words of wisdom and maybe give you some insight into what lies ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Today's panel discussion revolves around the theme Stepping into the Future, What the Industry Wants Today. As the worlds of fashion, luxury, retail, and business continue to evolve rapidly, this conversation invites us to reflect on what it truly means to be future ready. The skills, the mindset, adaptability, and creativity that industries are looking for in the next generation of professionals.
And now it is our pleasure to introduce the brilliant minds joining us today on today's panel. First, we welcome Mr. Vimarsh Rasdan, co-founder and CEO of Underneath. An alumnus of both IIM Kolkata and NIFT Delhi, Mr. Rasdan has built an impressive career at the intersection of brand building, digital strategy, and consumer engagement. Over the years, he has worked across marketing and communications for nearly 50 global brands across markets such as the US, UK, Germany, and Japan. At Underneath, he is driving innovation in the innerwear category while building a differentiated D2C brand experience that resonates with the modern consumer. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Next, we are delighted to welcome Ms. Preeti Khanna, General Manager, Modelama Exports Private Limited. With over 35 years of experience at Modelama Exports, Ms. Khanna has led large merchandising teams and managed end-to-end product development for renowned global brands, including Macy's, Superdry, Gap, and Anthropologie. Her expertise spans merchandising strategy, supply management, pricing, trend forecasting, and cross-functional leadership across design, production, marketing, and sales. We are honored to have you today with us, ma'am. Welcome.
Next, we welcome Ms. Shweta Agarwal. She is a Senior General Manager at Reliance Brands Limited. She is a seasoned retail buying and merchandising strategist with over 17 years of experience in the luxury and premium retail industry. At Reliance, she specializes in category management, retail buying, merchandising strategy, and brand growth within the luxury fashion space. Over the years, she has played an instrumental role in driving brand positioning, retail expansion, and consumer-focused merchandising strategies for leading international luxury and premium brands in India.
Next, we have Ms. Aisha Bhattacharya. She's the General Manager of Marketing and Business Development at DS Luxury Retail. She leads strategic marketing, brand development, and business growth initiatives for globally renowned luxury brands including Tom Ford, Berluti, Brioni, Aquazzura, and Elevanti. With extensive experience in luxury retail and brand management, she has been actively involved in strengthening consumer engagement, retail experiences, and market expansion strategies within the Indian luxury ecosystem. Thank you for being with us here today.
Next, we welcome Mr. Abhishek Mandal. He is the group manager at Royal Enfield, where he spearheads product strategy and quality for riding gear, helmets, lifestyle apparel, and accessories. He is a seasoned product and sourcing professional with over 17 years of experience in the apparel, fashion, and lifestyle industry. Prior to Royal Enfield, he held key leadership positions at Arvind Lifestyle Brands and Raymond, working across sourcing, category management, and strategic product development for leading brands such as US Polo, Arrow, Flying Machine, Ed Hardy, and Izod. We welcome you, sir.
Last but not the least, we have Ms. Rohani Singh Mann. She's the founder of Brand Talk India, a culture-first communications and marketing agency working across lifestyle, luxury, hospitality, and new age brands. An entrepreneur and agency leader, she has built Brand Talk from the ground up, leading high-impact brand launches, experiential campaigns, and strategic storytelling initiatives while redefining how modern PR and brand communications intersect in today's attention economy. Ms. Rohani has been recognized among Forbes 30 Under 30, Entrepreneur Today 30 Under 30, Business World 30 Under 30, and Economic Times 40 Under 40 for her contribution to entrepreneurship and communications. Thank you for being with us today.
To steer today's discussion, we are delighted to welcome our moderator, Mr. Abhishek Verma. Mr. Verma is an associate professor in the Department of Fashion Business Management at IIAD and brings with him rich academic and industry insight. Over to you, Abhishek, sir.
Am I audible? Okay. So we are going. We are going to directly start with the questions. So the entire set of questions are being classified into three areas: past, present, and the future. So I would like each one of you to travel back through time machine, go back to your college days and your inspirations, aspirations, something were getting fulfilled, something were getting compromised, something were getting shattered because you were leaving the college world and entering the professional, world altogether. The first series of question is basically that specific point of time. So we will start with Vimarsh. When you started your career, what were the key parameters that defined successful talent in branding and marketing at that time?
Hello.
He's doing it. It's on. It's on.
Okay. Yeah, it's working now. So, I have to be really honest, I had no clue. I had no clue what to do with my life and if I should be studying more or I should be taking up a job. Job seemed very boring in those days. It was very regimented. I had done few internships and I had seen the industry. It was not as exciting as industry is today. I have to be very honest. And one word which they taught us on day one was SOP, which till day, it gives me shivers down my spine that, you have to follow SOP. But my perception of industry was that you have to do a lot of hard work and that is the only way to move forward. But soon I realized that apart from hard work, there's also has to be a lot of intelligence put into things, and there has to be something called a leadership quality to really evolve and go forward with your career. So that was the starting point. Sorry, what was your next question? Do you want me to answer all three phases? One go?
So right now we are starting with all of the past phase.
I will talk about what is more relevant to the audience right now. We were obsessed about campus placements and who will get what job and what is the salary. My friend has got, I don't know, 20,000 rupees and I'm at 18. This is a big problem. And now I reflect back, these are very small things. But companies that time were over indexing on skill and knowledge when they were picking up students. So we had to mug up a lot of jargon, a lot of stuff. And probably a few of us did not know the real meaning of things, but we knew how to articulate it. So this was my perception, that skill and knowledge was over indexed. Caliber and leadership qualities, really, these companies, because these were big companies who were coming, and they had these set rules and what I call SOPs. They wanted more followers to come in, who would come in and follow suit and will read for the first 1 month the rule book and then start executing. They were not looking for minds to change status quo. They were looking for people who would simply imbibe the culture and the knowledge and the GTM and NPD, whatever the company stands for, and just follow that as a script. So now, when I look back, things have changed radically. Those things worked in that era, they're not working anymore. I mean, this is my understanding of where I stood when I was graduating, like you guys.
I think certain common things still remain same. That at the campus placement, a lot of companies out there, everyone is just going for the names. अच्छा आपका वहाँ हो गया है, कितना पैकेज दे रहे हैं? And the rule says once you are selected in any company, you are out. So they're like, should we go? Should we not go?
So, I mean, this is easier said than done, but I would say don't think too much about what your starting point is. And I'll quote from my favorite book, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, that begin with the end in mind. If you want to be an entrepreneur, be ready to give up salary for 2 years. Tell your dad or mom that please support me for 2 more years. Thinking that your friend is getting 30, 50, 60, I don't know what salaries are being given these days, and I'm losing on that in short term, that's a very myopic way of thinking. You have to pick up where the chances of success in the long run are the highest. Don't try to win short term. I mean, that's all I can say.
Okay. Coming to Aisha, ma'am. So again, same question, going back to your past, and if you can remember those days and talk about it.
It's a little bit tricky in my case because I've changed industries, I think about 5 or 6 times in the last 20 years. So if I go back right to the start, I trained to be a pastry chef, which surprises most people because they're like, how do you end up from there to where you are today? And I think the only thing I can tell students who are graduating is that it's okay to be unsure. It's okay to not want to continue whatever you just studied for 3 years or 4 years. It happens. A lot of times, clarity comes to you much later in life, or you need to try out many different things to find that sweet spot for yourself. So, literally, stop comparing everything that everyone else is doing. It's not important to be the smartest person. It's not important to be the person who has everything figured out at 20. It's okay to not know. So follow your heart and just keep trying. It's okay. People will not be able to figure out what you are doing. As long as you know what you're doing, it's fine. Everything can be traced back in retrospect. Every single experience that I've had has helped me to get where I am today. Whether it's been design, whether it's been travel, whether it's been yoga, whether it's been working in microbreweries or setting up restaurants, all of it adds up. To me, everything that I learned at the Oberoi is applicable today when I'm handling luxury clients because it already taught me early on what they expect, what they want, what they also don't want, and what we need to preempt for them. So everything counts.
So I think very rightly said, these students keep on coming to me and say, sir, I want to be brand manager with this company. So I said, okay, that's your ultimate goal. But where is those little steps which are going to take you to that ultimate goal? So I think you get your answer from Aisha ma'am. Moving to Ruhani. So again, going back to your past and talk about those transition day from college to industry.
Hi, okay, it's working. Firstly, congratulations, everyone. You're graduating. I think the fact that you guys are sitting in this room, it's big. You all should be celebrating. You're getting out there. And secondly, I'm so glad to be sitting among such young, bright minds. You know, when I walked in today morning, I saw all the projects that you guys have put together, and wow, like literally, even the one that you have over here for cover story of Rohit Gandhi, Rahul Khanna. I think your projects are just they are so good, and that's what I really wanted to begin by saying, that you guys are already ahead of the curve. I think looking back to my time, I am actually a mechanical engineer by profession. Now in marketing, not very far apart in age. I'm 30. So I think when I started, I also really did not know what I wanted to do. I just wanted a solid degree, like most of you do. So I chose engineering, graduated, did not really click, tried marketing, tried different stints with different companies, and it just clicked. And then when I returned to India, I started working here with another marketing company, got a lot of my ground experience. I think, the industry has drastically changed in the last 10 years, the communications industry. And when I was entering the market, things are very traditional. We were very media focused in the industry. We were very focused on, drafting long term plans. And I think the skills that people were looking for were, very paper and very degree focused. Whereas cut to 10 years today, I think we are looking at more agility, more flexibility, people who are willing to work ahead of the 8 hour ball. And, I love this show called Suits. If you guys watch it, you'll see Harvey Specter, and he tells Mike that if you're going to stay behind the 8 hour ball, you're never going to get ahead of it. So I think my biggest advice to you guys would be get ahead of the 8 hour ball, put in the work, because something that hasn't changed from 10 years ago to today is that hard work always beats talent when talent does not work hard enough. So I would, recommend you all that yes, I think some things have drastically changed, and I'm sure you all have been taught how to evolve with times. But hard work is a very important ingredient that always stays, and there's no replacement for it. So definitely don't shy away when you guys get out there. Ensure that you are the hardest working person in the room, and that is how you're going to get ahead.
Thank you so much. So second key point, 8 hours, you have to stand either in the store or in the factory. Uh, Beyond that, that's bare minimum. Okay, coming to Preeti ma'am. So if you can talk about your past days.
I want to make the environment very easy and comfortable right now. I think we're sitting very like tight right now as to what's happening on this side and that side. So there is no difference to the people who are sitting on this side or the people sitting here. I have been in one company for the last 38 years. So 38 years has been, if I say 30 years, it means there has been, as Sohani said, my hard work. But what comes automatically is the passion that you have. Something that you have inside. I am today, I was probably wanting to be a, air hostess. My height was not there. Then I wanted to be an actress. Went up to Bombay and I came back. I couldn't do that. But, it was the fashion. And during our times, there was no skill. Please understand, I'm not coming from any school. Like maybe someone has come from NIFT and maybe those times. I'm totally ground. I just walked from the house. I interviewed, I got a job at 500 rupees. What is 500 rupees? Nothing. So coming back, 500 rupees was nothing. But what was important was to learn, to challenge myself, to challenge to what was happening. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have computers. We had nothing. So I'm coming from that era and to the era today. It's been a journey where every day has been learning. Even today is a learning. So when I walk up to my factory today, for me, it's a new learning.
We're going through a tariff situation. We're going through a war. We're going through the wages up, charges. So there is everything happening. So I do interviews every year, at least hundreds of interviews while taking the children for the factory. It's a big change. It's complete change. I'm coming from an unskilled background, learning on the platform. But when I get these days, these young, futuristic, there is so much that is listed down. And I keep saying the first thing, feel where you want to be. Where is it the place you really want to be? Because it's really hard work. It's different thing when we studying in the college and when we out in the world. But that's a challenge and that's the beauty. So again, I'll go back to saying, don't worry on 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. Don't worry about the money. But the minute you land up in industry, that's a time for you to put what you've learned here. Believe me, I'm coming from an old school thought person, but today and in many years, the change is I like to learn what you have come back with. And believe me, I see amazing results when we leave it to them. I don't make any PowerPoints anymore. I see beautiful PowerPoints made by you young kids. The project. I mean, it's a beauty to have you people in our industry. So it's nothing that we have to think what will happen outside. So our times was very different. Today is a platform which is already there for you children. Already there. It's just that you need the inside passion and feel for yourself where you want to be. So over my journey, I became an animal activist. I run my NGOs, feeding about thousands of dogs every day. I work with PFA. I work with John Abraham and PETA. I am also work with the political parties as well to bring change in the community. So, where I started, but that passion where it's reached. But the governments, I'm also doing with, working with retarded kids as well, those schools and colleges, bringing the project to them, doing all this. So, there is no dearth of doing things, but feel your heart where you feel. The world is not easy, let me tell you. It's more challenging times now than the challenging times during us. It was much easier. Today is a challenge time, but you are already ready with it because you've got tools, you've got beautiful faculty, you've got amazing teachers to put things together for you, and I'm sure you're going to rock when you're out from here. So congratulations to everybody, and we can have interactive question answers anytime you would like to ask. All of us are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So coming, Dushweta, uh, uh, okay, you can basically talk about your transition time.
So, hi guys, very good morning and wonderful work. Of course, whenever I walk into this campus, I'm amazed by the quality of work and the projects being displayed. Very beautiful, and not like the projects are not built in isolation, they are built with proper interaction, showing the real work happening. A lot of live projects. When we were working into the college, when we were into the colleges, and when we were doing our graduation projects, probably the ratio of the live project was maybe 2 out of 50, but now I feel it's as huge as 70% of the projects were live projects. So that is the shift that I see, and that's amazing because, and almost I saw 50% of the projects out there are already recruited by the industry. So that's amazing. You are having real feedback from the real people. Now, when I talk about what was needed when I joined the industry, so it's already in sync to what everybody else said. But how I would want to frame it is that whenever you're entering to an industry, what the employer looks is precisely two things. One is probably what is your competency of joining the industry, and what is your character of joining the industry. Okay, so when I say character over the time of decades remain the same. So all the human things that we spoke about, the hard works, the persistence, the resilience, the curiosity, your integrity is indispensable because we are employing humans. All those your character has to be absolutely your hard work, your trustworthiness, the competencies keep shifting basis what is the time that when you're getting employed. The competencies that when I joined the industries were very different because not very many people in the industry whom were getting recruited were already belonging to the industry. They were people who were self-taught, and we were precisely maybe the very initial batches who were coming with a degree, coming with the mindset that we know it all before you get into the industry and it crashes. Because they are people who have learned out of experience, and experience is something that can't, yeah, that no degree can supersede. But the competencies that were needed for a job were very, very limited. That is, you should be knowing your work, you should be knowing your theories, you should be like, uh,
Yeah, curriculum is.
the curriculum as such, and knowing what is your perspective about what the industry holds on. However, and to talk about precisely in terms of technology, if we were good with Excel, if we were good with PowerPoint, if we were good with Word documents, probably the competencies were fairly matched. Uh, but now, what is advancing in today's context and futures context is the competencies required for a role is very, very different. The character remains the same, but the competencies are evolving. We can talk about the competencies now, or we can maybe talk about in the next phase. Next phase, yeah. So the competencies at my time were very, very limited. That you should be coming with a lot of knowledge as to what the industry holds on, and a lot of a lot of pre-prepared or the imparted SOPs, and lot of, in terms of tool, it was Excel sheets and PowerPoints. The competencies are very, very limited.
So coming to Abhishek Mandal,
Thank
you can talk about your experience.
So first of all, congratulations everyone once again. I've seen the projects, and there are a lot of projects which can be, register your GST, go ahead. It's like ready in such a stage that you can actually start your business. Yeah. So good luck with that. 20 years, 18 to 20 years. Yeah. It's been more than 2 decades. I mean, closer to 2 decades. Yes. So imagine, I would say, close your eyes, look back to 20 years back, and see, have a look if the environment around you, the world has changed big time, right? And this is what happened in the last 20 years. The technology has changed, the expectations have changed. When I was very nervous when I joined the industry for the first time. There were a lot of thoughts in the mind. What would be my performance? What would be my skills? Yeah. But then ultimately it happened. And one thing that I would recommend everybody to have that in their mind is that when you join an industry, let your niche be updated to your managers. Let your niche, your targeted zone where you want to work with. Let's say, for example, in marketing, you especially want to work with PR, right? You communicate that with your managers, with your seniors there, so that they have it in the back of the mind that yes, this person would like to go into PR someday, right? Actually helps. And it happened with me. When I joined Raymond, there were 10 of us hired together without a role, right? Everybody was hired together as a management trainee. And then probably they'll fit one or the other guy in some particular department or function, right? That is where it comes back to you. What do you want? You communicate. You tell them that you want to be in this particular department or function, so that probably, nowadays I don't know what exactly is happening in the industry, but back then it was like 10 of us hired together, and then they pick up and choose where each and every person will be settling down, right? So yeah, a lot of changes have been there. We'll talk about the next one.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Very nicely said, because he have been working with multiple, kind of companies, different verticals. So now we are moving to the second phase, which is basically the current scenario. That when you are interviewing these students, these kids approaching different colleges, what all the competencies and skills you basically are looking at in the current scenario of the country. So we'll come back again to Vimash.
So, I want to give everyone. Don't think so. I want to give everyone heads up that Those of you who want to be in a startup or want to start something on their own today or eventually are my TG, and only those people should listen to what I'm saying. It is not one formula applies for all. Those of you probably who want to work with large organizations and want to learn there and want to understand their set of principles and everything, uh, those people should not listen to me. I've worked for 1.5 decade in a very large company. The company's name was Orient Craft, and I started as a management trainee, exited as a CEO of that company. And I worked precisely in the manner of very strict rules and regulations because we were a large number of people. And with large number of people, you can't have one-to-one discussions and calibration exercises. But now I operate a startup which is radically different and completely opposite to how large organizations work. When I would hire, I can talk about startup culture, and I speak for many founders who are doing startups like me. What they look for is hunger. Skill, we don't even ask. कि आपको क्या आता है? Do you know how to plug in Claude to Shopify? We are not asking these questions. We are saying, what do you want to do? So if the person is spending 15 minutes, and a few of my colleagues are here already. So two of them are here. Shrishti is here. Ma'am is here. So Ritika ma'am. So and this is very repetitive for them, is that uh, if 15 minutes of the discussion is going on the comp structure, then I know this is not the right candidate for us. If they are saying, no, my batch is getting 52,000, you're just offering me 48,000. If this is the quality of discussion going on with a young person, then I'm not interested. I personally am not interested in taking it forward. And I got an application from an IIT Delhi graduate. He said, I will work for you 1 year free of cost. The only condition is you will make me work closely with you, make me understand how 0 to 1 journey goes. And this is a guy who can get like 50 lakh package in Deloitte's or all these big fours. IIT Delhi topper he was. That caliber is great to have a conversation with. He's saying, I don't even need a salary. I'm not saying go that radical. Not at all. But I'm just giving you two extremes. And somewhere in between, levitate more towards this than towards, what I said. Don't try to optimize on short term. Whoever was topper in NIFT in my batch, I don't know whether they're doing better than me or worse. Whoever got the best salary, I don't know whether their net worth is more than me or less than me. Probably it's not matching. I guarantee you that. 99.9 says Swati is my batchmate. She would say 99% it would not match. So what your starting point, it doesn't matter. What your appetite is matters. If you're not even from a great college like this, which you're very fortunate, even if their appetite and hunger is more than you, they will do much better than you. So I over optimize for hunger. I see what their ambition is. And this is a matrix for me. If their ambition is twice as large as mine, then it's a good match. Because that person will start pulling me up. So that person comes in, let's say, for context, at 12 LPA or 10 LPA, whatever it is. And that person says, I want to go to 1 crore within 2 years. Now the delta of that, the hunger of that person is more than me. I just want to double the turnover of my company. So now that person wants to go 5 times in her career. I want to go double. That person will take me there. That is how I pick up partners. We don't call them employees anymore because they're also somebody who can lead. I don't want anyone in my company, and I can again talk about a lot of founders. Nobody wants to give instructions anymore to people. And this is purely startup. With a warning sign, don't apply this on big companies. Don't go with these thoughts to a big company, to the CEO of a company and say, this is my thought. Startups will love it. Because what startups do, they are disruptors, right? They want disruptive people to join them. They want people with radical thoughts. They want a management trainee who's doing an internship with you and saying कि आपका तो influencer marketing बेकार है. In my face. I say, wow, man, this person has some thoughts. Then the next question, what would you do? And what we do at underneath is that we let young people lead. We are not giving them any rule books. I mean, both of you can ratify this. We are not interested in giving any rule books. And one more fact which I want to bring to your attention. Again, this is very D2C specific, very India specific. Not even if few of you are going to the US, doesn't again apply there. So Indian consumer, the median age today of Indian consumer is 29 years. The median age of a US customer is 39 years. Now I want to crack the code of reaching the mind share of a 29-year-old. I'm much more older. Do you think I will crack it or you guys will crack it? I think you guys will crack it. So in my company, I listen to you guys. Say, bhai, aap batao kaise karna hai. So because you understand, you are closer to that age, you understand that person more better than me. And obsessing over customer is very important if you want to get first to their mind and then to their wallet. Eventually, that's a natural outcome. So to conclude, what I'm saying is that anyone who has startup bend of mind, be very radical and be whatever you think for yourself as a growth, 10x that and then present it to the company. I think you will get that attention from startups.
Thank you so much, Vimal. So coming to Aisha ma'am, if you can talk about in the current scenarios where consumers are so much aware about sustainability, technology, comparing all the things on overnet internet. So what do you see? What kind of skills these students should be having to basically align with the companies?
So you can't really measure the skills of someone who's entering the workforce with with what the consumer wants. For us, when we are hiring, I mean, I've been hiring for 10 years now in different capacities. It was design students earlier, and today it's for luxury brands. And I can tell you this in all honesty, a resume tells me absolutely nothing about a person. Zero. I don't care when you were born, but what I care about is what motivates you. It's very clear to me when someone, again, as mentioned earlier, is that if it's about that 48,000 versus 52,000, my friend is getting this much, my batch is getting this much. We don't want people like that purely because I know that your motivation is only going to be money. So the next time someone offers you 4,000 rupees more, you're going to jump ship. Why am I investing in you then and training you and, getting you up to speed with whatever we do if you're just going to jump at the next little bit of an increase where money is concerned? So passion is very important. What is it that drives you? Is it that you want to learn? I love people who want to learn. I'm someone who likes to learn. So, then I can really invest my time in you and take you along with me. But if it's someone who's very like, government official, aake chhata tang ke baith gaye, 5 o'clock, bye bye, salary is coming. Those are not people who'll ever make it in this industry because here everything is about relationships. It's about how you communicate. It's about your body language. If your face tells me one thing and your body tells me something else and the words coming out of you don't match, there is no way a customer is going to be prepared to part with their money with you. So understanding how to communicate in a physical space with people has become something we really look at. Of course, communication skills are essential. Being able to explain things, being able to preempt what customers want, understanding their profile, understanding their purchasing power. Just for a lot of people, I think they think having money means purchasing power. It's not that. It's having the ability to part with it. If I have 500 rupees and I can part with 5, my purchasing power is actually 5. It's not 500. So you have to be able to read the customer and understand what they will want. With AI and all of that, you can't compete with AI. You have to use AI as a tool. you have to remember that the human aspect of the industry we're in will never not be needed. No matter how much a computer can tell me what will look nice on me, but a client advisor saying, "Oh my God, these shoes, you're killing it." That's what I need to hear. I don't need to hear that from AI. So, people skills, communication, all of that is something that we definitely look at far more than just a degree.
Thank you so much. I think so. Two perspectives we have seen: a startup enterprise and a luxury conglomerate DS Luxury Group. And I think that both of them are still looking for a passion, a hunger, and something wherein you are ready to disrupt what has been done in last 5-10 years. So coming to Ruhani, I mean, if you can talk about what do you see in the current scenario, qualities which students should be having.
Um, okay. Hi, Sharon. How are you? So Sharon actually works with us, and she met with a little accident, and I'm seeing her after a little while right now, and I hope you're doing better. So happy to see you here. But yeah, I think Sharon can also tell you guys that at our agency, what we really look for is people who are willing to wear multiple hats, right? I think I can first talk from an agency and from my point of view, and then maybe tell you from an average industry point of view as to what skills people really look at. So for us, we look at people who can wear multiple hats, who are willing to go beyond. I hate the word comp off. I really understand that if you are active on a Saturday or a Sunday, you do think that it is fair for you to avail a comp off. But again, I think as he mentioned, that's more of a larger company, a multinational company behavior. But at our agency, it's really about we look at people who can wear multiple hats, who are willing to go beyond their role, who don't mind working extra hours, extra days. We really ensure that they grow with the agency as well. So, whatever your market industry rate is, we ensure that we always beat that. I think what we really look for is people who are willing to go beyond. I think other than that, as Aisha mentioned, communication skills are extremely important. That is number one. Number two, interpersonal skills. Are you somebody who can build and nurture relationships? Number three, do you what is it, how do you translate and how do you execute what you plan to do? Because I think coming up with great ideas is something that AI can also do now, but execution is extremely important. So we look at people who can't just come up with ideas but who can actively execute them. So we also give projects to prospective team members who are looking to come on board with us. We try to see what are their analytical and their rational skills like. Is it a match with what we look for at the agency? I think that is what we look at. But I think in the larger scenario, when you're going out there, just the being able to give it your all, and I think bringing something unique to the table. Like I still remember when I was doing my college application, not my not applying to workplaces, but when I was applying for my masters, there's so many students who apply right now. How are you really going to differentiate yourselves? I think you really have to go deep within and find your unique story, which is something that and I've graduated from Imperial College in London, which is one of the hardest universities to get into in the world. And I think that is the university that taught me that you have to really grasp your uniqueness. It's not bad to be different, it's good to be different. So you have to understand what is it that sets you apart from the other 150 people who are a part of your batch. What is it that you will bring to the table that somebody else may not be able to bring to the table? It could be your past experiences, it could be where you want to go to in the future, it could be everyday learnings, it could be something that maybe something that you're born with. So I think really try to understand what is it that makes you unique when you go in to meet your future employer, when you're sitting in your interview. Really put across why do you think that you would be a good fit for them. And I think that will really differentiate you from the rest of the cohort that you are with. I think that's it from me.
Thank you so much. I think coming back to our classrooms, we always used to say that all of your resumes are looking same. The only portion which is different is about me. So she is emphasizing on that specific one paragraph about me, which is going to make you different from the entire cohort. Thank you so much, Rohani. Coming to Preeti, what do you look in these students?
Okay, so I think she read my mind on certain things. So I'm completely from the industry. I'm completely from the export background who's lived 30, 80 years and doing these interviews. And what do I look? So there was a time when we used to see the person is looking smart, good in English, alert, intelligent, and able to grasp. Since he's worked in Orient Craft, which has been our competitor at one point of time, and that's how it was. कि मैं Orient Craft में जाऊँ, कि मैं Modlama में जाऊँ, I go in this and this. So, before we walk out from here, first, I think whatever time that we spend in the faculty here, ask yourself, this is really what I want to do? Is I really want to do a startup, or do you want to be in a luxury brand? Because when I get the students at interview, they sound very excited and everything. "Oh, we want to be here, we want to be a merchant, or we want to be something." But over the time, the zest and the energy goes down, and within like few months, we don't see that. So what happens here? So it's very important to understand that when you're getting into an export industry, remember it is definitely, as she said, that it's going to be a multitasking job for us. We cannot say that I would be doing one task and not the other. There would be no offs, there will be Sundays working, there'll be no Saturdays. If we have been living this kind of a luxury life, it won't be there. It will be simply a lot of challenges. That is a time where what you've learned here is what will be expected on the table. So when I do an interview, again, I don't see the resume, I don't see anything. I see the person, and exactly all these points that has been said here. Salary is not in discussion. It's the person personality. At times, I will not even look at skill. I'll see how smart the person is and able to adapt the company, able to adapt everything. So as we started saying the SOP of the company, it's no more there. It has changed with the time. We're really looking forward to having young, futuristic, students from the faculty coming and, guiding us. Believe me or not, if I'm sitting at a particular position as a GMM, or looking at even tomorrow a VP or become a CEO, whatever, I would still look at these students. I'm not going to function alone. I need a team. So how do I build up my team? Of course, I'm going to look at a leadership quality in the person. I would look up at, the adaptability of the person, would be able to change with the circumstances. If the times are different with the person going to leave, I have spent 38 years. Why I never got the chance to move out of the company? I had many opportunities, million opportunities to head Pearl, to head this, to do this industry, do the buying house, some VP. But what kept on was every single day a challenge that I had in my factory. Working from a junior merchant to being where I am, building the teams. I always felt that person who's coming from outside has a lot of expectations. So I was put forward to every person who was coming, how to take that person inside the company and make the part of it. It's very difficult. It's not easy. You might not like canteen कैसी है, हाँ, और एंटर में गार्ड पूछ रहा है, अब हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं? So, in the faculty, it's all beauty, nice, how beautiful we are looking. Once you're in the industry, ये सब खत्म हो जाता है, ये कुछ नहीं रहेगा. You are only at work, and I'm honestly telling you, that is what is going to pay, and you are going to show the colors very fast, within like a month or 2 months. When I started working, it was within 6 months, I got a pay rise from 500 to 1500. Only when he said, the hunger was for me. Do I need this job? Do I need this work? Where do I see myself? So, once you out from here, before, think your heart, is this really what you want to do? Is this really the startup or the industry, or there's something else? There's no dearth of from this, the fabric. You can make so much. So, while doing these projects, we were talking about doing a lot of CSR activities. One of the person who was with us from the faculty, picked up the sustainability working. He made homeless jackets like crazy from the waste of Modlama, which was being sent out at 32 rupees meter per. And that particular student, who was a NIF student, usne 10,000 jackets homeless banai, and we went up to UNESCO to sell off those charity jackets. And during the winter time, the same person made like thousands of dog beds and jackets. I'm saying this was not there, but it went up to my CSR activities. Where it came from? One of you. So we need to be different, we need to be special. Why would I take you? What is the value that you're going to add to my industry, to my work? So leadership, very important. Willingness, the neediness, the hunger, whether the person really needs this work. No salary, and of course no comp off, no Saturday, no Sunday, and I'm not going to look at resumes. So the world is out, wonderful, beautiful. You've learned a lot here. I had never been to a college. I have no idea about it, but over my period, I did my pattern making. I learned everything. And today, if someone challenges me, I can challenge back. So you coming back with wonderful knowledge, and I think the industry is really appreciating it. They really want wonderful students to be part of the teams and take us to next step. We will share our experience and we will take your intelligence. Believe me, this is working out very well in my company right now. We have fantastic students from various faculties, but so far there is no student from this faculty. I think we are going to start. I think it should be my initiative to take the student from here and prove it back that how you will be bringing changes to our system, our energy, whether it is designing, merchandising, or production. So I think that's all that I would be looking up in the present time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, all the best, students. So, coming to Shweta, if you can talk about what current industry requirements are.
So, like we again already said that companies are no more looking for skills in your resume, because resume is one of your portfolio, a document that you have put out for to be hired. Companies are precisely overall looking at the mindset when they are talking to an individual. What mindset are they dealing with? If I give you an example, I've got 2 interns in the back end from a different institute than yours. We to one intern, we gave a very simple task of, she was a marketing intern, and we gave her a very simple task of creating a catalog. So creating a catalog, if you talk, it's a very grunt kind of a work that we say, you paste pictures over PowerPoint and you generate PDF out of it, and the catalog is used by the store teams to generate the distance sales. If you ask me, it's a very, very mundane kind of a task. One intern, within a span of 6 hours, came back with a fantastic work. No skill set was needed, just information was to be put together. The other intern, assuming it was a too mundane of a task, never came back. However, after a month, she created a website, which I don't need. So, what the industry is looking at is, are you fitting into the culture? Are you doing a problem solving for me? Okay. You could be very skilled with some technology, but they are wanting as to what is the value addition that you are doing to the team. Your multi-dimensional, multi-disciplinary talent, like we say, wearing multiple hats. A designer is no more just a designer. They are problem solving is an essential trait. Communication, you should be treating communication as if it is the skill that is needed to survive in the industry. It is not an option. It is mandatory to have a great communication skill. Great interpersonal skill, like Suhani said. We are ultimately people. And people are dealing with people. So AI can get you a lot of skills, lot of speed, but it cannot get you trust. It cannot get you perspective. So what your original perspective is as to what you can achieve is one thing, and why you want to achieve, what perspective led you to be doing what you're doing is something which is very, very important. Again, your portfolio right now could be very, very static if you're not very visible. So visibility again is not an option. Visibility is very, very essential, be it visibility within the environment if you're already into the corporate setup, and even if you have not gotten into it. Like traditionally, the roadmap was very linear. We used to be working into as interns. We used to be getting hired into a junior level job, doing it repeatedly, supporting our seniors, learning while we are supporting our seniors, and then gaining expertise by doing something repeatedly, and then being promoted to a senior profile, and then repeating the cycles. Now, with a lot of technology taking away that grunt work, that chain has to be multidimensional. It cannot be a very, very linear chain. It's not a careers will not be very, very what do you say, a railway track. It's gonna be like more like surfing, wherein you know how to suffice the ocean. In my career span of 17 years, there were various situations like when I passed out, we dealt with recession. There were very limited jobs. After 5 years into a brick and mortar setup, suddenly e-commerce came and took us with a storm. And then we thought that, okay, probably people who are just into brick and mortar setup will be replaced by the people who are tech savvy. But people repivoted to they retransform. And the good part is, if there is a new technology that is coming in, everybody is setting into the classroom one. Nobody is already advanced. Like if we talk about AI right now, all of us are setting into the maybe a pre-nursery level. And for a big industries to repivot is much more difficult as compared to when I talk about young generations to repivot. We are the big giants. They are like the big ships who have to make a lot of effort to move just 1 degree. But you students are like speedboats. You can repivot yourself the way you want. So same thing happened during the COVID also. The big giants took a lot of time to repivot and trade the existing workforce, while the new workforce already comes up with very, very tech savvy. The whole point is that just knowing the technology may not suffice. You should know where to fit in your technology, where your technology is solving the problem, where your technology is doing a value addition to your recruiter. So that is your intention, and your perspective is very, very important as the whole environment to make you very, very stand out in what you are wanting to do.
Thank you, Shweta. So very well said. Again, guys, you keep on coming to me and telling, sir, marketing में जाना है, but I don't want to do make contents. सिर्फ सोशल मीडिया करना है या मार्केटिंग में जाना है, सिर्फ PR and events करना है. तो please, if you want to get into marketing, you have to wear multiple hats, right? Thank you. Coming back to Abhishek, how would you see that? What is the current requirement of industry with the students?
So things have changed, and now what I believe is, when people hired earlier, they were looking at a degree and probably a person who could fulfill that space. But now the space is already created in the organization. You just have to be the perfect fit there. So that's the level of skills probably you need to build in. Of course, hunger becomes the most important part. People judge, understand, and gauge you by the level of hunger and enthusiasm that you have. But again, what will you write in your resume? Is there something specific? Have you built a brand of yourself? I mean, not the brand, lifestyle brand or something. Your personality. Can you convert this into a brand? Build a niche in such a way that you become master of that skill, right? And that is where, I mean, you get highlighted, you get picked up very easily. So that would be my the most important say today, that build your own brand. Apart from that, when people said, of course, totally 100% truly agreed that you should be hungry enough. In the industry, you should be available. I still remember that I walked into a movie theater with a laptop in my backpack just to be available on a Saturday, because I was expecting something to come up immediately. And I had to be ready in such a way that if I step out from the movie theater for 5 minutes, I could work on it and get back. So I don't know whether this level of availability is possible nowadays, but yes, there was a time when since mobiles did not have so much access and spreadsheets and everything, now everything is available in the mobiles. Yes, so that works. So availability to the management, to the organization, and that is where it builds trust. If you don't pick up calls, for example, on a Saturday or a Sunday, next time the manager will never think of calling you back again, and the trust level goes down that this guy is not going to pick up or understand the current situation. I hope some of the senior leaders in this organization, in sitting here, would be able to resonate to this. Yeah. So trust level is to be built up, and that actually builds up very slowly. You have to prove time and again to be trustworthy to your managers, to your seniors, and be available. Yeah. And most of it, build a brand, build a niche, build an expertise in such a way that there is nobody else to be talked about if this is the topic, right? So build your brand is the right time when you enter the industry.
Thank you, Abhishek. So I think when we talk about past and present, we already spoke about future perspective as well. So now this is last set of rapid fire questions. So you have to answer in one word only, and maybe we can start from there and come to this side. There are 4 rapid fire questions. So first is life is
Okay. Yeah, like I would say
one word.
journey.
Ruhani. Same question, yeah.
Unpredictable.
Shweta.
Roller coaster.
How is this a rapid fire if you're repeating the question? I mean, you should all hit different questions. That it should be like extempo in our times. I mean, but beautiful, definitely. I mean, enjoy one life.
I'd say it's simple.
It's a mission.
Second question, we will start from here only. The workplace of the future will be
Challenging.
Hybrid.
Home.
Shweta.
Maybe you should be more committed from your mind first. So the work starts from your mind.
Culture driven.
AI driven.
Third question from there itself. One word that define success today.
A brand in yourself.
Okay.
What is one word?
One word that defines success today.
Growth.
Visibility.
Probably your own mindset. You can be successful at any level if you think you're successful.
Passion.
100% believe in yourself. That's the success. 100%. You are the best. Always believe that.
So last question. Our students should always remember.
That the other side is still a student.
There will never come a stage where you know everything.
It's always day one.
Yeah, be a student always.
I think I'll repeat what I said earlier. Hard work always beats talent when talent does not work hard enough.
Building skills every day.
You. Shweta.
So one thing that I would want to just to maybe not conclude the session, but definitely want to communicate. So while say 5 years back or maybe pre-COVID situation, burnout was a word that I have never heard of. However, this word from past 1 year, I almost listen 8 times a day. From everybody, from an intern to a fresher to a senior management, maybe a CEO, everybody. So something is fundamentally not right, guys, in the culture that we are surviving. We are into a overdose of information. While we are gymming, we are consuming content. While we are walking, we are consuming content. Here also, probably while listening to us, people are still multitasking on their phones and consuming further more content. So we are mentally into a overconsumption stage that is somewhere, causing a lot of work burnout, and not only the content consumption, but the the way of life. So please never deprioritize your health. Your mental well-being, your physical well-being is still a topmost priority. You may have never seen a CEO who's out of shape. Okay, so there's a reason why they take care of their health, because a healthy mind resides in a healthy body, as they say. So, however basic this view seems to be, like something maybe your parents also say, your grandparents also say, your teachers also say, it is the most important thing. Please take care of yourself. Please move, go in motion. This will help you create, defog your mind, eat well, sleep well, avoid burnout as much as possible, because challenges is not an option, hard work is not an option, but taking care of yourself to be able to take care of all of it is what lead you to a longer way. So that is very, very important.
Okay, I'd like to add one point to this, since I'm the founder of my company and I'm also the CEO of the company. So I wear like two hats, and always I tell my team that one thing which I optimize is time. Money also comes secondary when it's a direct comparison between time and money. And coming here was also giving time away from my family. And I told my colleagues that, what is the ROI which I will drive from coming here? And we debated about it, and we said, okay, there would be a few young minds who would want to work with us. So I want to end this discussion with a pitch to you guys that, and it's not going to be very popular with my colleagues also, but this is how I told you that startups work. If any of you have that mindset of a startup and are going to pitch to me or my company and say that I will only work 4 hours in the whole week, but I will bring so much value to your company that probably your social media will double or your revenue will double. I mean, the outcome has to be radically large for me to say, okay, yes, we will partner with you, just work 4 hours for the whole week, but bring this value. So, what is happening? This startup culture is also getting rubbed off into larger companies, and eventually in the future, this will happen across board. That the amount of value you bring will determine the amount of hours you are going to put. Because now technology has come to our assist. A lot of mundane jobs are going to be taken away by technology. So intelligence, hunger, understanding how we can bring most value to the company is going to be the key factor for the future.
No, thank you. So the platform is open for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask from the panel. Smriti, take the
Please, you don't have much time.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Manasha, and I want to ask this question. Like, I am a person who want to have my own business eventually 5 years down the line, and I'm pretty confused. They ask ki, which industry you want to go into. You want to be a merchandise, you want to be into branding, marketing, PR, and I'm like, I want to be a founder. As a founder, I should have, I should understand all the aspect of this, and I'm very confused. Where should I go? But I want to learn everything in order to be that founder. And कल जाके मैं ये तो नहीं बोल सकती यार मेरे को तो सिर्फ ये आता है and मैं ये नहीं कर पाऊंगी, इसके लिए मैं क्या करूँ? I can of course outsource things out there. There are so many people, but मेरे को पता तो होना चाहिए. And I will use this word. I'm from like this might not seem very nice, but कोई आके कल जाके वो येड़ा बना के जाएगा and I'll be like, what are you doing? मुझे पता ही नहीं है. So and like if I'm a person who wants to start eventually, what should be the next step? Even right now, I'm contemplating. So I came all the way from Mumbai over here in order to learn, because I'm also working down, along with this course, I'm working in EST so that, I can do this course at the same time. I don't miss out on the things and I want to learn. And everything is like, I've been working in marketing, but I want to learn more, and it's like a question mark. Okay, as a founder, where should I go at this point? So it will be very really helpful if you guys guide me on this.
I can give you a brief synopsis of what happened to me, and probably you will draw some inspiration. I grew a company from 35 crores to 500 crores. I delivered, when I was parting ways with them, I delivered 100 crores EBITDA. Then I was too confident. I started a company in Paris. It flopped in 6 months. 15 years of experience, flopped in 6 months. Then I started another company, which did very well, great profit, but I couldn't scale it. Then I started third company. It scaled to 100 crores in the first year. So do you think that your experience will help you build a great business in the future? Because you're stepping into future.
Yes.
The answer is no. Things are changing so radically. And I will also give you one more incident that somebody reached out and we get a lot of inbound love from very bright minds like you guys. This girl had 8 years experience at Bain. Bain is the best consultancy firm. BSG and Bain are the best. Creme la creme. 8 years experience at Bain. Worked with the founding office of Lenskart. I am a topper. She told me her pitch was that I want to gain experience with you and start a company. My answer is it will never be enough. Today, Zepto, what age Zepto founder started?
It's a 17, 18 if I'm not wrong.
Probably he was successful by 23 or
Mhm.
22.
Yeah.
So experience is no longer a dictator of success. That's how I can say this. So in the future is now. What will eventually happen? Start with a small bet. I don't know how Americans became such a big capitalist company. You know why? Because they taught their children to put up lemonade stands. The best activity they do for their children, even the rich parents, they ask their children to put up a lemonade stand. They sell, they earn like $2 or $3, which is nothing, but they get that experience very early on. At 17, they start up. Silicon Valley, you go, average age there for new founders is they 17, 18, 20, 19. They don't have 10 years of experience. They don't have 20 years of experience. So the sooner you start and the sooner you fail will build your character to be making a successful company. Failure is guaranteed. Even after 50 years of experience, it's guaranteed. So why not start now?
Okay.
I think also just to practically add to your question, if you are looking to get experience but you're not sure which industry to get experience in or which vertical, join a founder's office. That is, if you're working closely with the founder, you will learn everything. You will learn the importance of systems. You will learn marketing, finance, operations, admin, back end. You learn simple things about, managing budgeting, expenses. So I think very simply put, try to, work with a founder closely in the founder's office so that you get ample experience of all different departments and industries. I think that's something I
I'll
did.
look with you guys.
Um,
Yes, of course.
Any other questions?
Hello, I'm Deblina. So as you all said, you all come from different backgrounds. Originally college से कुछ और करके आप निकले थे, कुछ और सोचा था, कुछ और कर रहे हैं आप. So it really scares me. I'm doing something right now, 4 years later in this college. क्या पता मेरा दिमाग change हो जाए, मुझे ये नहीं करना, मुझे कुछ और करना है. I'm really scared of that. तो अगर मुझे कुछ और करना भी है, so how do I मैं अपने आप को ये मतलब कैसे कन्विंस करूँ कि अच्छा मैं कर लूँगी, ठीक है, सब हो जाएगा, बिकॉज आई एम वेरी स्केर्ड ऑफ दिस चेंज. मैंने चूज कर लिया है, आई नो आई डू समथिंग इन दिस ओनली, बट क्या पता मेरा दिमाग चेंज हो जाए कुछ सालों में. सो हाउ डिड यू हैंडल दिस, हाउ डिड यू मोटिवेट योर सेल्फ, हाउ डिड यू कन्विंस योर सेल्फ कि हाँ मैं कर तो लूँगी या कर तो लूँगा. सो हाउ डिड यू डू दैट? आई रियली नीड हेल्प हियर. I think the most important thing is to get out of your own head, because then you are your biggest obstacle right now. If you're going to live in fear, you'll never be able to overcome it, because the fear, as real as it is irrational, because it's not yet happened, it's not impending. You are preempting for something that may or may not even happen. So just learn to go with the flow. Try out whatever you're doing now. You've learned something, put it to use. If it doesn't continue to excite you, change. It's never too late to learn again. It's never too late to add more qualifications if that's what you feel you need. I never did an MBA, but I've reached where I would have if I had done one also. And I did reach a stage in my career where I felt, oh, maybe I should get into and do an executive program because I am talking to people with so much more experience, with degrees, with IIM and this and that backing them. Do I sound stupid in those rooms? That does happen. You do feel like you're not enough. And when I did a program with Micah for a year, I was like, okay, I was already doing all of this. But what it does is it revalidates your experience to actually be able to stand stronger in those same rooms and say, okay, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. It's fine. You have it on paper, I have it in practicality. That's the only difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, please.
So these questions is very सबके दिमाग में. I have a daughter, she's a lawyer, she's 25. Doctor बनना था, ये बनना था, but eventually lawyer है. Talking about myself, I wanted to be an air hostess and I wanted to be an actress, and where I land today. So I would still say, when I get youngsters like you at my factory, burning themselves to something, I always tell them, now this is something besides what we're saying. I'm talking to you like maybe a mother to you. Mother, happy Mother's Day here. जो तुम्हारा दिल करता है, you don't have to go with the peer pressure saying, it's like a counseling, right? कि उसने करा है, my parents have put so much of money, I'm supposed to be doing it, what the other person is going to feel. Even after 4 years, even after 2 years, if you feel like doing. I have a fantastic friend, she is ex-NIFT and topmost. आज वो क्या कर रही है? She's a yoga expert, teaching with harmonium, an amazing lady and earning money as well. So whatever that you're doing, give 100% to that, as she said. But if there's something else that you really feel like you're young, don't let it go. Live your dream only once you live it. So if you feel like having something, maybe you have talent for music, talent for something else, don't let it go. Find your timing. But like she said, don't put your timing only on the phones and energy to go down. Find your heart and mind, align it. World is very tough and difficult, but we never had opportunities. You people have opportunities today. We never had it. I never had it. But today, I do my yoga. I'm running my NGO. I have saving of rescues. I work for political party where I'm working for community. So maybe later in the age, but I am doing it, but it's a value addition work. So you have a great Sunita Kaur here. She's my Buddhism friend too. So you must learn how a life today, what you manifest, is going to happen. So don't put that fear right now into yourself. Live the life and enjoy it. You have your faculty, passing out, enjoy. But what your heart says, must do it. Don't leave it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just a small bit, guys. We don't anymore need stages to perform, as they typically said that initially you need to hold a degree to be doing something. You still need a degree to be a doctor, so don't start doing a surgery if you feel like doing it. So there are certain skill set which still need a degree, but otherwise the world is very, very vast and the opportunities to perform we see are very, very vast. So even if you are maybe studying into a creative field, but you feel like doing maybe into a theater artist, you can start from where you are right now. Yeah. So social media is giving you a huge platform to creatively explore that in your field.
Yes.
Okay, I don't essentially need to be into the National School of Drama if I want to be an artist. If I'm into and I don't need to be, say, NID or IIT if I want to be a designer. I can start from right now where my passion is calling for. And I can also see, direct feedback, validations and feedback from the industry people. Because social media is giving you a very, very positive platform to explore what you want to feel like.
I have a question I wanted to ask. Like you said that there's always the fear of not being enough for the room. And as founders, you've also overcome certain obstacles. Was there any point in time where you felt like so intimidated, but how did you cope with it? Because a lot of us are changing scenarios from college to professional life. So is there any way that you coped up with it where a scenario happened with you?
So, I'll teach that part. So, first of all, I will tell you, most of my time I've spent catering to customers and understanding the Western market. Yes, learning this, too many years of learning within our country. There are few good learnings from the West. One thing which disturbs me a lot is the connotation of fear and failure very into a very negative thing. Fear is a negative thing. फेयर से तो हम बचे यार, हम हंटर्स और गैदरर्स थे, हम सबको शेर नहीं खा गया, वो फेयर से ही तो बचे हम लोग. टुडे वी हैव इवॉल्व्ड बिकॉज वी आर वेरी फेयरफुल. टुडे any business survives because the founder is very fearful that what will happen today, so they build moats.
I love that.
So failure and fear को ना बड़े positive, if you are fearing the situation, that's a great thing happening to you. Imagine you were complacent and saying मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, नौकरी लगे ना लगे, कुछ हो ना हो जिंदगी में, then your future is spoiled. Because you are fearful, I have hope you will build something. So please stop associating fear with negativity. Fear is a very beautiful thing, and fear के बाद भी अगर failure हो रहा है, that's even a more beautiful thing. अभी हुआ ना, हमारे colleagues यहाँ बैठे हैं तो अभी एक failure हुआ हमारी कंपनी में, उसके बाद देखो Ritika has come out stronger. क्यों Ritika? Do you agree? So failures build, there's a very important saying with failures build character. जो बंदा फेल नहीं हुआ है ना, वो ask any successful people, ask any of them, they would have failed at least 100 times. 100 बार तो शिपमेंट एयर हो गई होगी, 10 बार फैक्ट्री में राइट्स हो गए होंगे, 50 बार क्लेम्स आ गए होंगे, इतने नहीं आए होंगे बट आए होंगे. बट
3% हो गया कोविड.
तो कोविड में फैक्ट्री बंद हो गई. So
jobs.
when but don't you think when you came out of, now you're stronger.
I mean, we're still going tariffs and war is happening. And imagine people don't have jobs, tailors, everything. So there's so much of fear. But, you know, when we look at a CEO or chairman, the challenge, but where it comes down, every day, we are not fearing. We're fighting it, finding it out way. So the minute fear comes, there is a solution.
Correct.
There is a way. The minute you feel it, you will find the way.
If you-
100%.
The most, let's say Shah Rukh Khan's next movie releases, do you think he's not fearful? He is only working hard because he has fear with him. So please, I have a lot of hope. People who fear about their future, who are apprehensive, who are nervous, great future you guys have.
Hi everyone, my name is Vrinda. First of all, we are really grateful to have you all here. I'm here. Yeah. So, as Ruhani mentioned, that life is unpredictable, and after listening to all of you, how you went from something else to something else, I kind of agree to that. And second thing, Vimarsh, you said that not every time experience pays off. It's like ki sometimes you have 8 years of experience and you maybe fail. Right. So, basically, if I try to understand all these things, what do you suggest for a UG year 1 student or UG second year student? Should we go for internships? Or should we just focus on college itself? That's all. Or should we execute something that's there in our mind, which we know that might fail? So, what should we do?
So, first thing I would say, start looking inwards, not outwards. हम जो भी आपको बताएंगे, that's our life. I guarantee you, you're not going to live your life the way we are kind of telling you. My son is not going to live, my niece is here, Sanya, she's not going to live the same life that what I lived.
Yeah.
She has radically different life. So if you're going to copy our script, good luck with that. कुछ नहीं होगा उससे. You guys can understand there are two things in life. One is the basic core of life, the philosophy, the fundamentals. They will stay the same since our hunter and gatherer age till now, till the AI age, as he's a big fan of AI. So, but जो tactics part है ना, which is like the garnishing or the icing on the cake, it will keep changing. At strawberry, to kal. So you have to look inwards and say, okay, this is what I can do. I can make pencils which do great, which I resonate with, and then find those companies who want that skill or who also want to kind of go in that direction. So I would say look inwards. Whatever you feel, like she said, whatever you feel is right, then you have lot of options today.
Yeah.
You can surf the internet and find out people making these Japanese comics which are charcoal based and they are the opposite side. I mean, you can do all radical things, and thanks to internet, you can probably from here work in Colombia or Japan remotely also. I mean, everything is possible now.
And what if you can't come up with such ideas?
Then keep looking.
Yeah.
वो जैसे मेरे फ्रेंड का यहाँ पे डीपी में लिखा figuring out. Keep figuring out. Meet people, read books, do Instagram reels. You will figure it out. It's too early. I mean, you are at a age where you can experiment a lot and fail 200 times. It doesn't matter. अपने आप को इतना सीरियसली मत लो.
All right. Thank you so much.
You don't write.
What an enriching and insightful discussion that was. Thank you so much to all the panelists for sharing your experiences, perspectives, and insights with such honesty and generosity. Can we please have a huge round of applause for them?
As we move ahead, we now come to one of the most special moments of the afternoon, celebrating the achievements of our graduating students from level 6 and level 7. Today is not only a culmination of years of hard work, creativity, and perseverance, but also the beginning of exciting new journeys.
To officially announce the graduation awards, may we please invite Dr. Sunita Conver, Head of the Department of the Fashion Business Management Department.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot to all the panelists. I can't tell you, even at the age of 62 here today, I learned so much. My goodness, Vimarsh, fear can be strength. Thank you so much. I always wanted to defeat it and I always wanted to feel that there should be no fear in my life. But this positive aspect of fear, thank you so much for teaching each one of us that. So as we move forward, I'm going to request Usha ma'am to please come on the stage to give away the awards. There are few of us who will receive the awards, but it doesn't mean that the others are failures. No, the others are equally the winners. So I'm going to announce the PG awards first, the Masters Awards. Yeah, please. So we have two awards for the Masters. So the first award is called Professional Excellence Award, which goes to Ananya Pandey. She's already in tears. The Industry Relevant Award, that's a second award, which goes to Diane. Now we're going to announce the undergraduate awards, please. The undergraduate awards. And for the undergraduate, the most innovative project goes to Maulik Jain. There are quite a few faculty members who came yesterday to buy the trousers that he has launched for the kids. Congratulations, Maulik. Industry Trailblazer Award. Any guesses? I know the happiest would be Vimarsh. Ritika Lat. Congratulations, Ritika. The next is Emerging Talent Award, and that goes to Suhani Sharma. The Excellence in Industry Practice, that was for the back-end operation, and that goes to Mohika Peshwani. And the last award, that is Professional Excellence, goes to Tisha Pahuja. Sorry, Tisha Pujara. Sorry. Congratulations. Thank you. That's it. Let's give a big round of applause to all the winners.
Heartfelt congratulations to all our award recipients. Let us give them another huge round of applause.
To conclude this wonderful afternoon, we now invite Ms. Swati Singh, Associate Professor, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Okay. Before we call up,
May I please request Jitin to kindly give away the token of gratitude to all the panelists who have come.
Now, to conclude this wonderful afternoon, we now invite Ms. Swati Singh, our Associate Professor, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we come to the close of this truly enriching and memorable session, it is my honor to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of the Fashion Business Management Department and IIAD, transitioning into the University of Design, Innovation and Technology, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed panelists for taking out time from their extremely demanding schedules to be with us today. Your experiences, motivation, and guidance has given our students valuable insights. I would also like to express our sincere gratitude to all the other industry guests present today on a Sunday. Thank you so much.